he softened my heart, and I made both things lighter and better. And in doing so, I realized that it was God working through me. And I think we're kind of just looking for good things to happen, and like everything is all cotton candy and Cadillacs. But this is the perfect time, and God's timing is perfect.
Welcome to Prophets to the Prophets podcast, where everything is possible when love is your bottom line. All are welcome here. Entrepreneurs, business professionals, tradespeople, and even optimists, pessimists, and those who are ambivalent.
All right, good company.
You can have any type of mood you want. You can be here. Just give us 20 minutes, and we're sure you're going to get something out of it. I'm Steve, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Garrett
Hart. Garrett is filling in today because Al is in Las Vegas at the Con Expo doing some fun stuff out there. I don't think he's doing any gambling, but
no, probably not. Just driving fast cars.
Yeah, right. So we're going to have a really good discussion here coming up about being ready for God's answer in your life.
It's a good topic.
But first, we like to start off every podcast with something just a little fun, a little lighthearted conversation. If you're not interested in a lighthearted conversation and we just want to get to the the meat of the discussion, just go ahead to the 5-minute mark and you can just take off from there. But first, Garrett, to get you warmed up, I wanted to ask you, you have young kids, right?
I have 16-year-old twins and a 6-year-old.
Okay, so this is perfect. So when your kids are if you're in a store with kids, and they're asking, Daddy, can I get some candy? Right? You have those situations?
Yeah.
Like, what type of parent are you? You're like, absolutely. Let me hook you up with some candy. Or are you type that kind of tries to keep them,
Which one do you think I am?
I would imagine you are no, you're not going to get candy. We already have candy at home.
So, I'm the opposite.
Oh, really?
I am the get what you want.
Okay.
Everyone in my house has a sweet tooth. There is no shortage of sweet treats at home.
Okay. Well, what about other things? Like your kids are in the store and it's getting close to Christmas.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right? And they see a toy, and of course you're like, okay, I'm going to make sure I get this toy for Christmas, but I got to tell them no for now.
Yep.
Santa's coming. How are you with that?
I do exactly just that, I don't get a pushback. I don't get any arguments, nothing like that. They realize it, recognize it, and thank God they do, because I don't want to argue with a bunch of girls in the store.
Right. What about when they're asking for something it's just not practical? I don't know. Maybe, Daddy, I want to bring home this. You're like, we go to take the kids to a farm or something. I want to bring this pony home.
Yeah. One of my daughters right now is asking for a snake.
Okay, but there you go. Perfect.
Hard no.
Okay, so how do you go about saying no when they just don't understand all the what goes into having a snake? And
so my wife has this saying: "You like the idea of this,
okay,
but you don't like this."
Okay.
And so I use that with my daughter when she talks about how she wants a snake. Like, you love the idea of having a snake in the house for whatever reason.
Right.
But have you thought about feeding it mice and rats? And are you going to clean it out? And are
they
you
don't
gonna do
know that stuff.
And they're like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm like, well, you can't have one without the other.
Okay. Because it's funny how they desperately want something is going to be a problem. It could be a problem. It's likely going to be a problem. Like when my kid was really young, he would get clothes. It would be like January, and somehow, some way he would really want to wear something to school. I'm like, you cannot wear shorts to school. It's 3 degrees outside. But at the age of like maybe preschool, they're like 4 years old. They're like having a fit, and it's like trying to explain to them something that they don't understand.
I kind of lead them through a line of questioning and things like that to have them realize, oh, I didn't realize it'd be this much work or this much money or whatever it is.
Right.
And then they kind of make their decision on their own like that.
Okay. And that's a good way to do it. One response that our parents used to have when we would ask why.
Because I said so. That's why.
Because I said so, right? And that loosely brings us to the topic of the day. And the topic of the day is honoring the answer.
Yes.
Okay. So what made me think about having this podcast and inviting you on was, as our Bible study, we were talking in part about answers to prayers. You know, like kids who have no idea what they're doing, we often go to God in prayer and with preconceived ideas of what that answer should look like in our lives. And then sometimes it comes back and it's like, this is not at all what I expected and what I wanted. So, you know, we could be praying for a promotion, maybe a deal to go through in sales with a client, or even the life-changing things like things going on with our health or financial decisions. So why don't you share with us like what your situation was and how that worked out, why we're talking about this.
Yeah. So I have been praying probably for a month and a half, 2 months. I've been praying for God to work through me in and out of work. I've been praying for God to soften my heart. Mm-hmm. And I've also been praying for me to be closer to God. Mm-hmm. And every time I pray, I give thanks, I ask for that, and then whatever else I have on my mind that day.
Right.
And so some pretty interesting things happened in the past week. Mm-hmm. There was some things that happened at home with my 16-year-olds. I don't know if anyone else has ever had any issues with 16-year-old girls before, but happened to me this week. Then some things popped up at work that were extremely unexpected. And I was actually working from home on Tuesday, and I'm sitting down in my sunroom, and I'm kind of like looking out the window like, what am I going to do? Uh-huh. And I can explain it, but I don't know if you believe it or not, it was kind of like a slap in the face. Like, what are you talking about? This is what you asked for. And I'm like, I didn't ask for this. What are you talking about? And so I started thinking about it more. I'm like, oh, tough times, the meek will inherit the earth. Mm-hmm. I'm open to God coming in. Yeah. And tough times is a perfect time to get closer to God, right? Mm-hmm. Dealing with kids, dealing with tough issues at work, like soften my heart. Yeah. Don't give me that hard line. Like, let me listen to both sides of it and kind of mentor, coach, whatever it is through. And then by doing both of those, I am going closer to God. Mm. So while most people pray for things and kind of hope like, oh, I hope that something good happens from this.
Right.
How do we know what's good and what's bad?
Right.
Because while I thought there was this bad situation, it's really a good situation because it's answering all of my prayers.
Yes.
Now, it might not be the way that I wanted it to happen.
Exactly.
I definitely didn't want to have issues at home. I definitely didn't want to have issues at work, but I got what I asked for. I'm closer to the Lord. He softened my heart, and you know, I made both things lighter and better. And in doing so, I realized that it was God working through me. Mm-hmm. And I think we're kind of just looking for good things to happen, and like everything is all cotton candy and Cadillacs. Yep. But this is the perfect time.
Yep. And
God's timing is perfect.
You had said you had been praying about God, asking for God to soften your heart. Like, why? What's up with that?
Not everyone has the experience with me like you do, Steve.
Oh, I've had an experience with you. I'm not in the grind in the furnace out there in the sales floor. So, but I know you have a very type A personality. Get to it, and you know this is the way it is. I wouldn't say my way or the highway necessarily, but you have to have that personality. But you're saying soften your heart. So I'm sorry, explain that.
Yeah. You know, coming from the military, you know, things were extremely black and white as you can relate to. Yep. And having to learn the gray area was pretty tough for me for a few years. I'm like, this is right, this is wrong. Like, there is no gray area. It's either yes or no.
Yes.
And Conequip and Travis and Al have really helped me see the gray area. And by seeing the gray area, I can understand people's perspectives instead of just going after mine in my initiative. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So softening my heart and just having the ability or the chance to understand where other people are coming from, how they think, or even like, is this the time that I can lead someone to the Lord? Mm-hmm. More patience, especially with young girls at home, you know?
Sure, that's tough.
And just by doing that, I think that transfers to all aspects of life, you know?
Yep. Yeah, when you go to the scriptures, You know, like one of the biggest one. It's funny because we know these scriptures, right? Some of us memorize them, but then when it comes to actually applying them, it's like, and one of the scriptures that we all know, Romans 8:28. We all know that we know that in all things God works for the good for those who love Him and who are called according to His purpose.
Yeah.
So easy to say. Yeah, I'm good with whatever God, comes up with and what He does. And then like you're
what about when a deal goes sideways?
When it goes sideways, it's like, wait a minute.
And then what's the first thing you think of when that happens? What do I got to do? How do I fix this?
Yes.
How do I get better?
Uh-huh.
But it's not us.
Yeah, explain that.
I had that realization, I think, the previous week in Bible study.
Okay.
All of us throughout the day will say, man, look what I did. Look what I did today.
Uh-huh.
Man, this isn't going right. What do I got to do?
Uh-huh.
But it's not us.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
God gave us the abilities to do the job.
Yeah.
He gave us a platform like this to talk about things like that.
Yeah.
But we're not doing it. It's God's plan. God gave us the ability and gave us the platform, put us in the right place at the right time to carry out His work.
When did you realize this in your life?
About 2 weeks ago. No, I am a rookie Christian. I'll tell you a story. When I first started at Conequip was very young. We were still growing, we're still scaling. I think I was the 28th employee at Conequip 10 years ago. And I didn't know the Lord. I didn't know faith, nothing like that. And I remember one day I'm like just scrambling around like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do that. And Al's like, you don't got to worry about that, man. God will provide for us. And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? Like, we got bills to pay. Like, let's go. We got to do something. And I always think about that now. Like, Al knew that we alone cannot do anything. I think there's a scripture about that. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
there's probably a couple.
But, Al recognized that a long time ago. And, I was just saved and baptized 3 years ago by a coworker. And so that was pretty special to me. But ever since then, I've just been doing what I do with everything, right? Just going head on and really diving into it. But seriously, probably in the past, I'd say 3 months is when things started to come together for me. Because you can read, you can listen, but like you said, like, how do you know when to apply it? How do you know how to apply it? And it takes some time,
Oh my gosh, it takes time. It takes our whole life.
You're never there.
Never.
You're always walking there, right?
Mm-hmm. So that was Wes that you got baptized by?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have photos of that?
I got a video of it, yeah.
Okay, I'll throw it up here. If you don't mind.
Yeah. Do you think the audience will mind seeing a video of me in my flamingo bathing suit getting baptized?
Sure.
Okay.
We might actually have more than 6 views after that with this podcast.
Might get 2.
That's awesome. So other scriptures. I mean, there's just so many that are very simple. We all know them. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not onto your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. That's Proverbs 3.
That's exactly what we just talked about with Al, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's so easy to talk about. It's so easy, like, people to watch the podcast or go to church or whatever and get all energized. Yes, I'm going to trust the Lord. I'm going to pray. And then
get to the parking lot, forget it all.
Yeah. So I'm throwing this at you. I don't even know in my own mind, like, what are some things we can do in our lives to try to get ourselves a little bit more faithful in our walk with Christ? What are some things? I can think of one thing off the top of my head, but go ahead. What do you got?
So kind of going along the lines of both things that we've been talking about with, just realizing that God put us where He wants us to be. Mm-hmm. And then also realizing that prayers might get answered in not favorable, I guess not favorable ways, but ways that we weren't expecting to be answered.
Favorable in our standards.
Right. Yeah. So something that I have done recently is I set alarms on my phone to stop throughout the day and pray and just thank God for everything that He's given us.
Oh, that's a great. Hey, if you think that might help you guys,
some people think it's controversial making alarms to remind you to do things.
Oh,
like you shouldn't get into a habit that's forced a habit and stuff like that. But
hey, man, I think whatever it takes. I don't think God's gonna ever look at anybody's attempt to connect with him better and say, yeah, no, I don't want you to do it that way.
Right.
He's gonna be like, whatever you got to do.
Like with our spouses and relationships, it's all the
Right.
same thing, you
Yeah.
know? And that's what we have, is just a relationship with the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to, when I come here to the pew, I have about an hour drive from home. And I listen to 1122 church sermons a lot with Pastor Joby Martin.
Okay.
What's up, Joby?
I'll reach out to him so we can get him on.
But I just try to be in the Word, listen to a sermon. You know, I listen to it first thing in the morning and get my mind right throughout the day.
Yeah.
So I'm not coming in all hot on the sales floor, you know, things like that. And
Okay.
I want to be the person that someone can come and talk to. You know what I mean? And then I have my reminders throughout the day. And then recently I've been praying with the kids at home.
That's awesome. That's powerful.
Showing them how to pray and things like that. Believe it or not, I was very fearful of doing that.
Yeah.
And if you know me, there's not really much fear going on in my life, but kind of stepping into that role as the spiritual leader of a household can be intimidating.
Yeah, it's again. Yeah, because you even want to do this podcast or want to do anything, it's like, I feel like if people could see behind my curtain, they'd be like, you shouldn't be doing a podcast.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be, like, I'll be at home, like, trying to have a Bible study, and I feel like my kids be like, well, why are you even talking about this stuff? You live so imperfectly, right?
Oh, because, none of the disciples ever lived
perfect. Yeah. So, yeah, it's intimidating to try to lead even kids.
Yeah.
And you know why I would say even especially kids, because they're like the most innocent.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have the most impact on them.
Well, Dad said.
Yeah. All right. Do what I say.
Oh,
yeah. So
man.
Tell me how that's been. How what has that done for you personally?
So Wes, he's a pastor of the church that I attend, and sometimes I'll pop his sermon on when my kids are like coloring or something like that, and I'll just watch what they do.
Okay.
And so my 6-year-old, she's over there coloring, and I put Wes on there, and she knows Wes, and she's coloring, and she looks up and she'll just be like, and she's locked in.
Oh, that's cool.
And then she'll start asking questions, and stuff like that. The twins, they actually asked to be baptized when they're 8 years old.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm not sure they knew what that meant at 8 years old.
Well,
I wasn't saved when they got baptized, so I didn't really do anything for them at that point.
Right.
But because we started praying and things like that, and we went through the school issues or whatever it was earlier in the week, I was able to come from a biblical place for them, and talk about, like, we alone can't do this stuff. We have to rely on the Lord to help us through these things, and we have to lift our troubles, our spirits, whatever, up to Him. And just kind of making that connection with what you said earlier, with how do we apply this stuff. And so when we're going through those moments and taking the time to show someone how to apply it, and showing them, like, this isn't just some made up stuff, and you start walking and you start realizing the little things, kind of like we were talking about earlier with, like, this is what you've been praying for, idiot. I'm not trying to force any epiphanies or revelations or anything like that. I just want it to happen naturally. So I'll ask them, do you want to pray with me? Not let's go pray.
That's right.
And so when I ask them, do you want to pray with me? Then they say, yeah. And I said, do you have anything that I can pray for you about?
Yeah.
And that gets them talking, gets them open up, because teenagers don't like talking to parents that much.
I've learned.
So getting them to speak is a win in my book. And then also showing them the connection with the Lord is just icing on the cake.
Yeah, man, of course, like you already know, there's nothing you can do that's going to further God's plan or hinder God's plan. It's already there. He's just there. You're there to just kind of almost enjoy the ride and be faithful. And so it's great that you're just participating in this with your kids. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we'll never know the plan, but He always knows the plan.
Yeah,
and we trust in the Lord, right?
Yeah. So be careful what you ask for. So let's sum it up. Our whole point is that when it comes to anything that's going on in our lives, when we're praying for an outcome or we're praying for something, allow the outcome to be whatever God wants that to be, and then have peace in that.
Yeah.
Right.
So peace is a tricky word.
Yes.
Peace doesn't mean everything is perfect all the time. right? Peace just means you know how you're better equipped to handle those situations that come at you.
Yeah.
And anyone in sales knows that
Yeah.
you got to be equipped to handle those situations that pop up. You know, so peace is good.
Yeah. And it's a battle. You're going to like find yourself falling short of how you react to coworkers, to clients, to family members. But you just recharge. You just, you know, try to like reset and just keep trying. Finally, Philippians 4:6 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts."
Amen.
Great talk. But I do have to ask, do you know what time it is?
Downtime?
Very close.
Oh.
It's time for... something fun.
Doubt it.
So, you're a sports fan, mostly a football fan.
Mostly a football fan.
You don't really care about other sports, but you know about other sports.
I know about other sports, yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a clock for 1 minute. And what you have to do is you got to take the alphabet. A, B, C, D. For each letter.
Oh, that's what the alphabet? A, B?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
For each letter, you got to give me an athlete's name. First or last name is fine. So you got to go through the alphabet. You got to find an A. You got to find a B.
The whole alphabet?
You have 1 minute to see how many you can get, and you can pass on one letter, and if you can get 12 or more, you win.
12. Have you done this with people before?
I did it with myself. It was not easy.
All of your friends you did it with?
Especially when you're like, so first or last name, get through as many letters as you can. You got 1 minute.
But I got to say the whole name,
12
right?
or more.
Just so you know. I just can't be like, Andrew,
You can't just
Bill.
go Alan, yeah. Alan, Bob.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Good call on that little detail.
Well, you know,
all right.
loopholes, you know.
Here we go.
The gray area.
The gray area. It's black or white. Here we go. You have one minute. On your mark, set, go.
Antonio Brown, Bo Jackson, Clayton Kershaw, Dylan Shaw. UFC fighters count?
Sure.
EJ Manuel, Frank Gore, Haloti Nada, defensive tackle for the Ravens.
Oh, you think that works, right?
Yeah, that's an
Haloti?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll trust you.
Andre Iguodala,
30 seconds.
Jack Kemp, Lou, Larry Bird.
All right, you have 15 seconds to get two.
Muggsy Bogues.
5 seconds to get one.
And who is it?
And
Gosh, who would you pick?
I mean, obviously there's millions, but
I know. Who pops your mind though?
how about Craig Nettles, Yankees? I don't know if you remember.
I was thinking first names mostly.
Yeah,
that's what threw me off.
Oh, okay. You have Nathan Gerby as a hockey player. Nathan Peterman.
Oh.
So thank you so much, Garrett, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Make sure everybody, if you catch this podcast, subscribe, follow us, all that stuff. You know,
share it with everyone you know.
Share with everyone you know.
Send it to Joby Martin too.
Yeah. Remember, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world, but to lose his soul? Prophets to the prophets, here we go.